Now we will look at various ways to control the flow of instructions in Swift. Use if and switch to make conditionals, and use for-in, while, and repeat while to make loops. Parentheses around the condition or loop variable are optional. Braces around the body are required. Now let's take a look at the code from line 5 to line 14. On line 5 we have created an array of individual scores with the values as given on the right hand side. On line 6 we have created a variable team score of type integer having initial value 0. On line 7 we are using the for-in syntax to iterate through the array. With each iteration the score will assume the value of the values in the array one by one. In first iteration it will have value of 75, second iteration 43, and so on. Here we are using if condition to check the value of score and an else block which will be executed if the condition after the if is false. On line 14 we are printing the final value of team score. So during each iteration, if the value of score is greater than 50, 3 will be added to team score, else 1 will be added to team score. We have got 3 values in the array 75, 103 and 87 that are more than 50. So 3 will be added thrice and 2 values that are less than 50. So 1 will be added twice. We can see that the final value of team score is 11. In an if statement, the conditional must be a Boolean expression. This means that the code such as if score is an error, not an implicit comparison to 0, like in some languages. You can use if and let together to work with values that might be missing. These values are represented as optionals. An optional value either contains a value or contains nil to indicate that the value is missing. Write a question mark after the type of a value to mark the value as optional. On line 20 we can see that we have added a question mark after the type of variable string. Hence this variable optional string will be considered as of type optional. Since optional string has an initial value of hello and is not nil, the comparison to nil will return false, as can be seen on the right hand side. On line 23 we are creating another optional string called optional name with an initial value of John Appleseed. On line 24 we are creating a non-optional string hello. Here we are using the if-let syntax to check if the value within optional name is not nil. Since the value within optional name variable is not nil and has a value of John Appleseed, this value will be assigned to name, which will be made available within the if-let block. And here we are forming a string using name. So the value of greeting will be hello, space John Appleseed, as can be seen on the right hand side. Another way to handle optional values is to provide a default value using the double question mark operator, also known as nil coalescing operator. If the optional value is missing, the default value is used instead. On line 36, we have created a constant nickname with an initial value of nil. On line 37, we have created another constant of string type with an initial value of John Appleseed. On line 38, we are using the nil coalescing operator, which means that if the value of nickname is nil, then the value after the double question mark will be used. Here the value of nickname is nil, hence the value of informal greeting will be hi space John Appleseed by picking up the value of full name. This can be seen on the right hand side. Now we will look at switch case conditionals. Switches support any kind of data and a wide variety of comparison operators. They aren't limited to integers and tests for equality. Here in this example, on line 42, we are assigning a value of red pepper to vegetable, and within switch, we are evaluating the value of vegetable. Within this case, if the value of vegetable is celery, then this line of code will be executed. On line 46, if the value of vegetable is cucumber or watercress, then line 47 will be executed. In this case, the constant x will assume the value of vegetable, which is a string, and using strings has suffix method, we are checking whether the string ends with word pepper. If case on line 48 is a match, then the code on line 49 will be executed. If none of the above case is a match, then default case is executed. Here the value of vegetable is red pepper, so the case on line 48 is a match. Hence the output is it a spicy red pepper, as can be seen on the right hand side. After executing the code inside the switch case that matched, the program exits from the switch statement. Execution doesn't continue to the next case. So there is no need to explicitly break out of the switch at the end of each case's code. So in a switch conditional, the cases are evaluated in the order they are written, and whichever case matches first, its corresponding block of code will be executed, and the control will move out of the switch block. Use for in to iterate over items in a dictionary by providing a pair of names to use for each key value pair. Dictionaries are an unordered collection, so their keys and values are iterated over in an arbitrary order. Here in this example, on line 63, we have created a dictionary of 3 key value pairs. First key is prime. Its value is an array of integers. Second key is Fibonacci. Again, its value is an array of integers. And third key is square, with a value containing an array of integers. So we can use for in syntax to iterate over a dictionary by providing 2 labels within the parentheses. The first label kind here will get the value of the key from the dictionary, and the second label numbers will get its corresponding value. On line 70, we are iterating over the array in numbers, which during each iteration will be the corresponding array. On line 71, each number is compared against the value of largest, which was declared on line 68. And if that value is greater than the current value of largest, that number will be stored in the largest variable. The logic of this code will find out the largest number from all 3 arrays. We can see that the largest number in all 3 arrays is 25. The print statement on line 76 will give us the largest number, as can be seen on the right hand side. We can use while conditional to repeat a block of code until a condition changes. The condition of a loop can be at the end instead, ensuring that the loop is run at least once. From line 84 to 86, we have created a while loop, and in its logic, the loop will run until the value of n is less than 100. And during each iteration, we are multiplying the value of n by 2 and assigning back to n. From line 90 to line 92, we have a repeat while loop. Both the loops give us the same output with a value of 128. The difference between the 2 loops is that in the case of repeat while, the block after the repeat is executed at least once, since the condition is evaluated at the end of the block. You can keep an index in a loop by using two dots and less than symbol to make a range of indexes. Here in this example, we have created a range of values 0, 1, 2 and 3 by using two dots and less than symbol between 0 and 4. During each iteration, I will assume subsequent values in the range starting from the value 0. On line 99, we are adding the value from the range to total variable. And since the value in the range was 0, 1, 2 and 3, the total of which is 6, we can see the value of 6 is printed on the right hand side. Use double dot less than to make a range that omits its upper value, and use three dots to make a range that includes both values. So if we wanted to include the value of 4 in this range, we could have used three dots instead of two dots and less than symbol.